Alright, so last time I did an album review was actually for Whole Alright by Playboy Cardi, and in that review, I didn't really have too many positive things to say about it, but this one is gonna be different because Young Thug's one of my favorite artists, and this album, Slang Language 2, was pretty fire in my opinion. Not one of his best ones, but definitely a really good album. He had so many features from everybody in the industry, and it's just a really good album. So we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, before we get into it, I encourage you to look at the description because if you're watching this and if you enjoy video games, that kind of stuff, I definitely ask you to check the description because I have my Twitch link there. And I don't really have a specific stream schedule because even I don't know when I'll be streaming and stuff. Like, you should more see whenever I feel like or whenever I have free time. But yeah, man, definitely check the description if you like watching streams and stuff. It's usually super chill. I usually just have music playing in the background, just playing, just literally just chilling. So yeah, man, go to the description, come through, and yeah. But yeah, man, with all that said, let's talk about Thug's new album, right? So unlike Whole Lotta Red, I actually think of myself a lot of time just kind of sit on this album because I feel like I didn't really need to. It dropped last night. I didn't listen to it the second it dropped because it dropped kind of late. I listened to it after I woke up, and just from the get-go, there were like a couple of bangers which I instantly recognized. This is a super big album. It has 23 songs on it. Obviously I didn't sit through and listen to all 23 at once because the album was a 1 hour and 15 minutes. I kind of just listened to it throughout the entire day when I was doing other things, like doing homework, talking to people, whatever it was. I didn't completely just sit down and listen to it straight up, but I constantly found myself going back to the same 3 or 4 songs over and over again because those are my favorite from the tape. And that's natural only to have a couple like really banger songs that you really like from a tape. You're not gonna like all of them usually. You might think all of them are decent, but then you find those like 3 or 4 that you really want to listen to over and over again that are in constant rotation, and I found a couple of those. See, I know it isn't really right to compare Playboy Cardi to Young Thug, but the reason I feel like I like this album a lot more than Whole Lotta Red is because Whole Lotta Red was teased for so long. We expected so much. This album kind of, I'm not gonna say it dropped out of nowhere. Like, I do follow a lot of these artists' music and stuff like that, so I kind of do know when they're dropping, when they plan to drop and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, Thug didn't really even promote this like that. He kind of just like, yeah, he tweeted about it here and there. You seen it like, oh, Slang Language 2 is coming out, and then he just dropped it. It was just up to us to experience the album. It wasn't hyped up or anything, and I know that sounds kind of counterproductive because usually you want to hype something up before you drop it and generate attention, that kind of stuff. But you don't want to hype it up so much that you kind of hold yourself. You don't want to fumble the bag. You don't want to play yourself. And with Whole Lotta Red, that's kind of what happened. It was a decent album, right? I'm not gonna say it was the best album, but it really wasn't horrible. But the problem was Cardi kept hyping it up, and he kept hyping it up, and we waited so long for it to finally drop. And when it did, it just didn't live up to expectations. And even if it would have been decent, right? People just overlook that fact because like they didn't have to wait this long for that. Imagine waiting this long for an album just to be mid. But yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and compare Young Thug to Playboy Cardi because Thug is goated, bro. Thug has that goated status along with like Future and Drake and like Lil Wayne and stuff. Thug is goated up there, at least for me. So yeah, I was pretty hyped when I came to listen to the album. I had not super high expectations because again, I feel like he didn't really try his hardest on this album. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like Thug is always putting out heat, bro. Like, he just doesn't have to try. You know what I mean? Like, anything he puts out is just so fire to me. So I'm gonna try to keep this short. I'm just gonna go over things I liked and the things I didn't like. The things I didn't like aren't many, so it won't be too long. Cause unlike Whole Lotta Red, I don't have to like shit on this album because I actually liked it. So the main thing I really enjoyed on this album was a variety of songs, bro. You had all these different artists come together, and he had so many features, which I love. He had everybody in the industry. He even had like so many people I didn't expect. Like, I never expected Young Thug to have a song with Skepta. Like, that's crazy of me, but there it is. He even had some artists that I'd never heard of. So people put me on some of the artists, probably people in YSL, but still, regardless, pretty good. Literally every song on the album except one has a feature. So that's just super good. And some people say, oh, he's compensating. He probably didn't have that much material, but no, I just generally think he just wanted to have a bunch of features on this album. You got Drake, Future, Kid Cudi, Meek Mill, Travis Scott, Lil Uzi, Nav, Big Sean, Lil Keed. Anybody who's popping right now, he has them on this album, bro. And the next thing I liked were the actual songs, bro. Like, they were so hard. These all had some crazy ass beats. Weezy is such a fire producer. He never misses. So all these songs were super fire, super hard. You had a couple of slow songs which I liked too in the middle and stuff. A little bit melodic stuff. Again, this is one of those albums where since there's so many songs, there's something for everybody. Yeah, you might not all like all of them or whatever, but you will obviously find one or a couple of songs that you like at least. And the last thing is, it isn't really specific to this album. It's just kind of with Thug's entire music, how he does his stuff. Kind of similar to Cardi in this sense. I don't know what Thug is saying all the time, but it doesn't matter to me because the music just sounds amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounds so fire. But there are like times when there's like a break or something in the music and you kind of listen to what he's saying and you realize how hard the bars actually are. How like he's spitting, bro. Like, this is facts. Like, whatever he's saying is so fire. I know I'm kind of fanboying here, but you know, to me, Thug is just goated in that sense, bro. Just the way he makes music, the way his like bars flow and stuff like that, goated. His cadence and especially the things he says, bro, like, and the way he says them, it's just so like when you put it up with the beat, bro, it's just so hard. You know what I mean? Whenever I'm in the car and I have Young Thug playing, bro, I feel like I'm ready to do like a drive-by. You know, I feel like I'm ready to rob someone, bro. Like, that's just how fire his music be, for real. But yeah, that's enough said. I'm gonna talk about the few things I didn't like about the album, and we'll just wrap it up with my rating. I feel like you know, it was getting kind of repetitive. That's one of the things I didn't like. You know, I didn't really mind it though. Like, it got a little bit repetitive, like, you know, near the middle and stuff, because a lot of the beats sounded the same. And you know, but it wasn't it like I didn't really mind at all. I said I didn't like, but honestly I didn't mind, because you know, when I listened to more of that individual, that specific song, I just like realized, you know, this is the vibe that Thug was going for, kind of. And you know, I just completely glossed over it. You know, I keep shitting on Cardi, I'm sorry, but I just can't, bro, because unlike Cardi's album, when I said all the songs sounded the same, some songs here, like some, emphasize on some songs here did sound kind of repetitive, but I could tell the difference between them, if you know what I mean. I knew that these were different individual songs with, you know, individual artists and that kind of stuff, and that's important. But yeah, I can't even say this isn't something that I like. You know, it's just something that I noticed that might irritate some people, I guess. But yeah, that's really the only like kind of negative thing I can think about this album. You know, again, just because I don't say anything negative about an album doesn't mean it was the best album in the world. But yeah, man, I genuinely don't have anything bad to say about it, really. To me, this album was good, man. It was a decent album. Like, it was a pretty good album. Like, obviously Thug could do better, but I don't mean that in like, oh, you know, he didn't do it to his full potential. I just mean like he probably just didn't try his hardest. I do like the previous Slime Language a little bit more, but the only reason is because the song, like, you know, it had a little like less number of songs, 15 compared to 23, so it was just easier to kind of sit through and listen to. And as like a result of that, you know, I just found more songs that I enjoyed, like a more number of those banger songs that I was talking about at the start of the video. Because you know, since there were less songs, it was just like quality over quantity in my opinion. But then again, this was a pretty good album too, so if you're a newer Thug fan, you'll probably really like this album. But then again, you know, music is subjective, so if you thought this album was mid or trash, that's your opinion, even though you are wrong. But yeah, man, that's really it. This is kind of a longer video, not as long as the Playboy Cardi review, thankfully. But on screen right now, I'm gonna put up some of my favorite songs from the album, so you know, just in case if you guys were like wondering what I was looking for when I kind of hopped into this album, this was like my favorite songs. You know, those constant repeats that I was talking about that I had on, yeah, these were them. They're on screen right now, so if you want to go listen to them after this video, be my guest. I have my Spotify playlist in the description if you like my music taste, or you know, like any of the songs that I put in the background of these videos. You know, the ones where I kind of sit down and, you know, stuff like that, commentate and stuff, it does take a little bit of time. Obviously it's not very hard work, like, don't worry, I'm not working my ass off or anything. I'm just saying it does take a little bit of time, so I would appreciate, you know, if you left some feedback. You know, whether you think the video is trash, just let me know. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, thanks for watching. Again, make sure you follow me on Twitch and stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.